This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
People want to know why their streets and homes continuously flood. I'm Stephanie Wade, holding those accountable today.
A tornado touches down in Beech Grove, but the tornado sirens don't go off for nearly 40 minutes. So what happened? I'm Call 6 Investigates Paris LaBelle, and we're digging into the issues and why those sirens didn't go off.
RTV6 is working to solve problems that have come about after severe weather.
From damaging flooding and a major and repeated problem many neighborhoods see to sirens going off after a tornado warning had expired.
Cities across southern and central Indiana are recovering tonight. At least 9 tornadoes touched down on Saturday night. The National Weather Service has sent teams to survey the damage. At least 24 Beech Grove families are now displaced.
And an EF2 tornado with winds of up to 135 miles an hour damaged 3 dozen homes in Ellettsville alone. Today, Monroe County says it will seek federal help to clean up.
Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Tonight, streets flooded after relentless storms and constant rain.
And homeowners are still dealing with the aftermath of flooded homes.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade goes to one neighborhood tonight on the east side where people are calling on the city to help.
With more rain in the forecast this week, these people are nervous. Their homes are going to flood again. Take a look at these pictures taken just this weekend.
Amy Ann came down the stairs and she heard the cat. She immediately yelled, "There's water everywhere."
It was the cat's meow that gave away something was wrong.
It just came up out of nowhere. Yeah, it's definitely been a headache.
Ben Wenke and his girlfriend's basement had flooded.
In the middle here, it was 2.5 inches deep.
He says it happened in less than 30 minutes, but now more than 24 hours later, their dehumidifiers are still working around the clock.
We were surprised that our internal French drain system and sump pump hadn't taken care of it. That's when we realized it came up through the drains in the floor.
You see, their floor drain is connected directly to the city sewer system. So when the streets outside their home flooded, so did theirs.
I don't feel like as a homeowner I should have to worry about stormwater coming up through my drains.
And it's not just their home.
Neighbors' cars flood. Our basement had water. Our neighbor's basement had raw sewage. It's an issue and it can be costly.
After looking into the issue today, I found out it's Citizens Energy's responsibility. A sewer maintenance crew came out Sunday to investigate and determined there was no blockage, but that the sewers were simply overfilled and couldn't keep up this weekend. But the drains performed, quote, as expected. Citizens Energy says to avoid backups like this, talk to a plumber about installing a backwater valve to prevent water from entering your home. Is that a good enough response for you?
I don't think it's good enough because neighbors have done that, and that it just moves down the street. The next neighbor has a problem. Then the next neighbor has a problem. Until everyone knows that has to be installed, and it's an expensive installation too, it'll continue to be a problem.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Now, if this happens to your home, you can call Citizens Energy's call center at 317-924-3311. I'll say it again, 317-924-3311. It will be investigated, and they may send a sewer maintenance crew out if needed.
And we are investigating a delay when the tornado warning sirens were supposed to sound the alarm in Beech Grove.
You asked us on social media to look into this critical safety concern.
Call 6 Investigates Paris LaBelle went looking for answers in light of the problem.
That tornado ripping through parts of Beech Grove, and it wasn't until 40 minutes later, after that damage had already been done here at Arlo Steel, that the sirens even went off in the first place. It came in the blink of an eye.
Just about to walk out the door and to go to dinner.
Severe storms hitting Beech Grove on Saturday.
It's like, the weather is kind of picking up a little bit, and then I watched a tree get split in half.
A tornado touching down, ripping through an apartment building, Beech Grove High School, and a steel warehouse.
We were inside watching TV and got up, and I could hear a loud vacuum sound coming through all the vents. Well, my ears popped, and then we heard a loud boom, which we found out was the roof that had lifted up and smacked back down.
The National Weather Service saying the first tornado in EF1 touchdown at 7:26 p.m.
We weren't prepared. I mean, usually you hear something, the siren or something.
The National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning at 7:34 p.m. Minutes later, a second tornado, an EF0, touched down in Beech Grove as well.
So you didn't hear any sort of siren before or anything?
No, nothing.
A few minutes later, the storm quickly moved out of the area, and the National Weather Service canceled the tornado warning just 13 minutes after it was issued, saying the tornadic thunderstorm which prompted the warning has moved out of the warned area.
We got really lucky.
But then, 18 minutes later, the tornado sirens go off throughout Marion County.
And then, after everything has died down, even the storm, like even the rain, not just the wind, we come out and then the sirens go off, telling us to get to safety. And we all joked about it and laughed about it, like, oh, thanks for the warning.
RTV6 reporter Cameron Riddle was in Beech Grove when they went off at 8:05.
Okay, right there, we have tornado sirens.
You can even hear the outdoor sirens going off inside RTV6's studio downtown.
There's your storm. And I'm hearing
tornado sirens.
Yeah, I'm hearing tornado sirens in Marion County. As of this second, there is not a tornado warning.
All of the sirens in Marion County are managed and operated by IMPD's Homeland Security Bureau. They use a computer like this to set off the sirens. There's 4 across the county, one at the Emergency Operations Center, one at Police Dispatch, one at Fire Dispatch, and one at the airport. But it's under the authority of the Homeland Security Bureau to give the go-ahead to set the sirens off. IMPD tells us in a statement their Emergency Operations Center, known as an EOC, is usually the one responsible. But they say because the EOC does not operate 24 hours a day, it is also the responsibility of the Marion County Sheriff's Office dispatch to activate the sirens. At the time the tornado warning was issued, the responsibility to activate the sirens was that of MCSO dispatch. We have more information about the tornado sirens here in Marion County and when exactly they're supposed to go off right now inside the RTV6 app and at theindychannel.com. In Beech Grove, Paris Lubell, RTV6.
Thanks, Paris. And we reached out to the Marion County Sheriff's Office for a comment. We have yet to hear back.
It is a Storm Team 6 alert day here in central Indiana as we've seen even more rainfall.
And we're going to take it over to Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory for what you need to know tonight.
Multiple flash flood warnings in effect right now across the metro area. As you get to the north side, that's where we've had the heaviest rain. Northern 465, northern Marion County, right at 31, up to 2 inches of rain in the last 2 hours there. There's your flood warning as a result. Don't try to drive across a flooded roadway. That's until 8:45. Other flood warnings in Edinburgh over to Shelbyville, where they've had 2 to 3 inches. The rain that's very heavy around the metro area has been isolated. This is widespread, heavy rainfall east of Bedford to Seymour to Greensburg on toward Connorsville and Liberty. The strongest of these storms may produce some 50-mile-per-hour gusts, pea-size hail, and definitely flood the streets. These are the flash flood warnings in effect from Greensburg to Columbus to North Vernon and then between Bloomfield and Bedford. I'll be back, show you how much more additional rain we expect, and can we find a dry day in the 7-day forecast? The answer is yes.
We'll see you soon, Kevin. Thank you. A traffic alert in a very busy part of town. New restrictions are in place along Keystone Avenue as work continues on the 96th and Keystone interchange development. And as of this morning, drivers can no longer turn left from Keystone Avenue to 96th Street. Officials say they hope by prohibiting left turns, road backups will not be an issue and crews will be able to work quickly enough to finish construction by the end of the year. We spoke with a driver who says he shot north on Keystone, exited at 106th Street and circled back to get to work today. And he says the restriction as of now works.
It's actually, I didn't think this would be the case. It's actually faster now that that light's gone. So it's actually gotten a little bit better for now. So hopefully that continues.
Crews have been working to turn the intersection into a lifted roundabout for about a year with an expected completion date of November.
The 10-Point Coalition and the Attorney General's office are calling it a day of progress tonight, marking 1 year since a homicide has happened on Indy's Far East Side. Indianapolis and Lawrence City leaders praise the efforts of the 10-Point Coalition. They say 10 Point's groundwork has been key in bringing the two cities together in the fight to reduce violent crime on the Far East Side. 10 Points says the official mark of 1 year with no homicides on the Far East Side is at 10:30 tonight. Coming up, a commitment to hire military service members, veterans, and their families.
What one National Guardsman says really meant a lot to him as part of this successful program. Next in Hiring Hoosiers.
And as RTV6 celebrates a huge milestone, we are taking you back in time to a very special day in Kevin Gregory's history.
Isn't every day very special in Kevin Gregory's history? Hey, day first, we're live tonight at Victory Field. Great to have a place like Victory Field. It drains so well. We're playing baseball. State finals in high school baseball, to be exact. I'll tell you about it coming up here on RTV6.
Tune up for only $89.
For on time. This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers is working for you by connecting you to employment opportunities throughout central Indiana.
Hilton Hotels was named the #1 best place to work in the U.S. by Fortune magazine for 2019.
And as the hotel chain takes pride in its hospitality business, it also takes pride in who they hire.
Operation Opportunity is Hilton's commitment to hire military service members, veterans, and their families. The program launched in 2013 with a commitment to hire 10,000 military members and their families. The hotel company exceeded that goal by 2018. Now, Hilton is committed to employing an additional 20,000 military hires by the end of 2020. The Conrad in downtown Indianapolis is part of the Hilton family and employs 200 people, 12 of which are military veterans, 3 are actively serving, and 1 of whom who is currently deployed. Tony Manili is the Conrad security manager and is a corrections specialist for the Indiana National Guard and has been deployed while employed by Hilton.
For Operation Opportunity, we have veteran commanders at each property that help drive Operation Opportunity and help try to bring on more veterans onto the property. And they were actually able to help build the resources even while I was gone for me to come back and have a really strong and even stronger team than when I left for security. The other thing that they did for me was actually look at my pay. So while I was gone, I would have been eligible for then a pay raise for my year of being here. And so they treated it as if I was not even gone. They still did that review, they still looked at that pay raise, and they still were able to then make that happen and compensate for that of being gone.
And Hilton Hotels allows Manili to serve our country with a strong sense of job security for not only him, but his family too, while offering differential pay while he is deployed. To learn more about job opportunities and the benefits to working for Hilton across central Indiana, head to hiringhoosiers.com. Not only is Channel 6 celebrating 70 years on the air in 2019, but it's also a milestone year for someone you see here every day, Kevin Gregory.
Yep, Kevin will celebrate his 30th anniversary in August. Just a little over a year and a half after graduating from Purdue, he arrived at Channel 6. Look at that, following quick stops at WLFI in West Lafayette and a station in Champaign, Illinois.
I'm 6 feet 5 inches, but I walked in here feeling 5'10". In other words, I was totally intimidated. I didn't know if this was going to work, didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. You knew everybody from watching TV, and here I was just trying to establish myself. So I just kind of tiptoed into the building and started going to work. I worked early mornings. The best thing that ever happened to me, Ben Morriston and I worked the morning news, which was the 5-minute cut-ins during Good Morning America. I had a chance to mature, become more comfortable, didn't have a lot of responsibility. The weather's usually calmer in the morning. So I was able to just grow professionally in my spot and then eventually assume more responsibility as my career went along. But we didn't have morning news when I started. We did morning cut-ins, eventually went to a half-hour morning news, and then expanded from there. Bob McLean, David James, Howard Caldwell, Ben Morriston, all of the people that had established their careers couldn't have been more friendly, more welcoming, more helpful. And they can see when you're a nervous kid walking around here. I was 24 years old, had brown hair. Things were a lot different. And so they were welcoming and just tried to show me the ropes and make me feel comfortable. And that's really, I think, the key.
I got to say something here. If you know Kevin here at work, Kevin now pays that forward. You're the most welcoming person to new people who are in the building here.
You are the welcoming committee, for sure.
You're kind. That's one of the joys of the 3 decades is everybody I've worked with. You know, I've always come in. And so I talked about maturing in my role and everything. It prepared me for this weather.
Yeah,
right?
Right, for real.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, more thunderstorm warnings to talk about. This one down in Jackson County. Strong thunderstorm may produce 60-mile-per-hour winds. It will absolutely absolutely produce torrential rainfall leading to some flooding. That's until 6:45. Brownstown and Seymour both included in the warning. Here are the flood warnings between Bloomfield and Bedford. Then when you go from Brownstown to near Seymour up to Greensburg, 2 to 3 inches of rain has already fallen today. I'll show you in a second, if you go back to Saturday, how much rainfall has come down. The strongest storms clearly to the south in Jackson County now, just to the west of Seymour. There's Brownstown. As this moves east, 60-mile-per-hour winds, heavy rainfall, as well as perhaps some pea-sized hail or larger right through Seymour, Jonesville, and that will move into Jennings County around North Vernon. This is pretty unbelievable. These are radar estimates of rainfall from Saturday until now. And you can see some portions of Lawrence and Jackson counties north of US 50 have had anywhere from 7 to 8 inches of rain. You get into southern Bartholomew, and probably 6 to 7 inches of rain there. Ongoing heavy rain finally starting to shift a little bit to the south and east from Seymour to North Vernon, south of Greensburg towards Batesville, and then on to Brookville Reservoir. We've had heavy rainfall in Hamilton County. That's why Fishers and Geist and Carmel, Noblesville all under the flood warning until 8:45. Best chance for any severe weather will continue to be that southern line of storms that I was just showing you. It's our Storm Shield app. It is free and it's helpful and it could be life-saving. It will send warnings to your phone. You lose power at home, Storm Shield app acts like a weather radio. It is free and it also puts you in control of the radar so you can look around anytime you want to see where the storms are located compared to your house. 7 o'clock tonight, ongoing thunderstorms, most numerous from Indy southeast, and that's where the strongest storms would be as well. Tomorrow, we'll do it all over again. I think the overall coverage will be less, and I think the most likely area for thunderstorms will continue to be the southern half of the viewing area. Here's your 7-day forecast. Temperatures amazingly consistent, around 80 degrees. Overnight lows in the 60s. Flooding becomes an even greater concern each day we go through this because you add more water, meaning we can hold less. Right. So it takes less of a downpour to create larger problems.
And so many people are over it and need to, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Kevin, thank you. It is time for sports. Tonight we are at Victory Field, where it's a big night for some local high school teams.
The boys' state finals are just getting started, and Dave First joins us live from the stadium. Hey, Dave.
First pitch just after 6 o'clock, guys. It is a 1A game right now as we're also avoiding the raindrops. The 1A game between University and Washington Township. University is up 3-0 here in the first inning. There's also a nightcap tonight in the 4A game between Columbus East and Hamilton Southeastern. This is the great thing about Victory Field. You come here, whoever wins, they're already printing off T-shirts. They are ready to go. They are full service here at Victory Field. We'll see what happens again in the 1A game. It is University over Washington. The nightcap, though, telling you what, Hamilton Southeastern making their first 4A state finals appearance. They've got a three-headed monster on the mound. Tyler Schweitzer, Michael Dillon, Cole Gratterson combined. They're an 18-5 record this season, and they're holding off opponents where they're outscoring them 39-4 so far here in the postseason.
I don't think we've given up, 4 runs all tournament, and as long as you can put a bat on a ball, you're going to score runs.
I think we go as our pitching goes, and I think our pitching's been amazing, so we've been amazing. I mean, it's pretty...
It helps to have good pitching.
It does.
Our pitching is very special. I mean, Michael and Tyler Schweitzer, they're both on always.
They have such a great pitching staff. Again, here's the schedule tonight. Already underway. University, Washington Township, Columbus East, Hamilton Southeast for the night captain. Two more games tomorrow. Edgewood, Andrean, Southridge, and Alexandria Monroe. Well, technically, it's the off-season in the NBA, but really don't tell all the NBA franchises out there. Very busy week for these guys. Thursday, the NBA draft. And there's already a lot of movement. Remember that trade over the weekend sending Anthony Davis from the Pelicans to the Lakers. Take you out to St. Vincent Center for the Pacers today as they wrapped up their 9th and final pre-draft workout. 6 players on hand, including Phil Booth from Villanova. But the Pacers, again, ready to go on Thursday. Kevin Pritchard and company getting a feel for talent and personalities. Ryan Carr is the team's director of player personnel, and they're being realistic about the process.
the draft is really more about future, I think. So nowadays we're drafting kids that are so young. With the 18th pick this year, I don't think that that's going to be somebody that starts for us, or may not get a ton in the rotation, but it's somebody that hopefully down the road will be a key piece to what we're doing.
NBA Draft Thursday. You can see it over on our friends at ESPN at 7:30. Of course, the New Orleans Pelicans have the first pick overall. Can you say Zion Williamson? I can. Pacers have 2 picks coming up Thursday. The 18th pick in the first round and the 50th overall. That, of course, in round number 2. Hey, finally tonight, first and foremost, speaking of the NBA, take up to Toronto, where everyone loves a parade. But look at the crowd that came out to greet the world champion Toronto Raptors. And IndyCar fans certainly will recognize the scenery as they went through Princess Gates on the way to the Scotiabank Arena, making their way around Exhibition Place. Ironically, they're also in the process of getting that area ready for the IndyCar race at Toronto. And the race is up there coming up next month, but a massive showing for Canada's first NBA champions. A sea of red today in Toronto, Ontario. We're just through the first half inning. Again, University 3-0 on Washington Township. Highlights and the story of their great pitcher coming up tonight, Reese Sharp, at 11 o'clock. For now, the News at 6 continues after this quick timeout.
Entertainment, art, and culture is just an hour's drive up the road.
Yeah, an array of musicals, theater, music, and concerts are now slated for the 2019-2020 season at Purdue.
We'll expect to see some Broadway shows, including Rent, The Color Purple, Blue Man Group, A Bronx Tale, and Waitress. You'll also see something called Doc by Fuse, being called an immersive inquiry into the intersection of humans and technology.
Yeah, there you go. Up the road.
Start playing it.
You know that area.
I know it well. Soft spot in my heart. Graduate in '87. Let's go to the southeast portion of the state. Seymour to North Vernon. Thunderstorm warnings there. Intense thunderstorm capable of producing damaging wind. We'll watch that storm as it brings flooding rain as well.
All right, and that'll do it for us here at 6.
I'll see you at 7.